Hello, welcome to Intersoft Solution tutorial video. This video will show you how to customize cell editing type using UXGridView and DevForce. This video tutorial uses Intersoft Client UIMVVM Data Application DevForce project template. There are Customers repository, Employees repository, and Orders repository added to the Model Services folder. It serves as a data repository for customers, employees, and orders table. In View Models folder, there are Customers View Model and Orders View Model added. It provides the view model for read-only data access. In Customer.xaml, there is a UXGridView that displays customers' data. In Order.xaml, there is an editable UXGridView that displays orders data. The auto-generate column is set to false, so the columns are defined manually to the UXGridView. Let's run the project. Navigate to Customers page. The UXGridView shows all customers' data. In Orders page, the UXGridView shows some orders data that defined in the Order.xaml. For more information about how to retrieve data from WCFRIA service or DevForce, please see UXGridView support page in www.intersoftpt.com/support/UXGridView/tutorial/video. Now, let's begin the tutorial. First, you will learn how to change the cell editing type for employee column to combo box type. Go to Orders View Model. Create the properties. A property can be created automatically, including the setter and getter, using propful code snippet. Just type propful, then press Tab. Now, create the employee property. Change the type to enumerable, and change the property name to employee. In the setter, add on property changed method to notify the related model and view model if the value of employee property is changed. Perform the same step for the second property, with Boolean type called isEmployeeLoaded. After that, set the value and name property, with the parameters value. Initialize a data repository that can accommodate data from employees' data. Create Notify Prerequisite Data Loaded. This method used to set is prerequisite data loaded property to true, as the requirement to get data from repository. On the other hand, in the constructor of view model, is prerequisite data loaded property is set to false. So, you have to call this method when request to get data from repository. Next, you have to add load employees method to get employees data. If error occurs during data retrieval, you can show the error message to the user. Then, change the constructor of Orders View Model to call the load employee method. The type of employee ID is integer. Instead of ID, you can show the first name of the employee using a converter class. Create a new class that implements a value converter interface. Resolve the namespace. Press Alt, Shift, and F10 to get an option to implement interface of a value converter. Then press Enter to implement. Add link library to this page. In Convert method, initialize employee repository. It will be used to determine whether data exists in employee repository. You can select the related employee object, using the value of employee ID passed to the method, and return the value of first name property. Now, back to order.xaml. Add a reference to employee converter class in the UX page. Change employee's cell editing type to combo box. Then, add the employee converter in binding property. After that, you have to define value list source, display member path, and value member path. Next, configure customer column type to hyperlink. When hyperlink is used, you need the navigatory. So now, create customer extended class in models folder to define where the page will be navigated. You can add new properties to orders class because it is a partial class. Now, take a look at class view. Select the domain model project. Then, choose order and select customer. Next, copy the order partial class and namespace definition, and paste it to customer extended class. Add idea blade entity model library to resolve the namespace. After that, add navigatory property, and set the getter to the return the customer page URI. Set the return value to /customer/ so that can navigate to customer's page. Back to order.xaml. Change the customer's cell editing type to UXGridView hyperlink. Bind the navigatory binding to the navigatory. Lastly, set a cell editing type to the specific row. Add a selector folder. Then, add cell editing selector class that inherits from data template selector. This class is used to define a cell editing type to the specific row. Create a new data template property for numeric editor and slider editor. Override the select template method to implement the code. Initialize UXGridView cell, UXGridView row base, and UXGridView row. Return numeric editor data template for odd rows, and slider editor data template for even rows. Back to orders.xaml. Add a reference to cell editing selector class in the UX page. Define the data template for numeric editor, which is UX numeric up-down. to find the data template for slider editor, which is UX slider bar. Add cell editing selector class. Set the numeric editor and slider editor data template. Build the solution. Next, set the cell editing selector to the cell editing template selector in UXGridView property. Now, let's run the project. Navigate to Orders page. If you click a value in Customer column, the page will navigate to Customer page. The cell editing type of ship city and ship country cell is a text box. You can type a value to edit the cell. The Employee column displays the first name of the employee. You can select another employee from the combo box options. And lastly, in the Freight column, UX slide bar is used to edit odd rows, and UX numeric up-down is used to edit the even rows. In this video, you have learned how to customize cell editing type using UXGridView and Devverse. Thank you for watching Intersoft Solutions tutorial videos. For more videos, please visit our website on www.intersoftpt.com/support/video.